Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Tuesday afternoon, April 20th. And no, we're not looking at yesterday's profiles. We're looking at today's profiles here on Window Trader of the market profiles of the SPY, IWM, and triple Qs, and pretty much a repeat of what we saw yesterday. We push down an A, B, C, D, and E, and then we get a wide POC. The only difference is we did make a new low today in K period. We didn't make any new lows yesterday after G. ES goes out with a poor low. We do not. So there's a lot to discuss, a lot to try to decipher what's going on here. We have trend days down 2 days in a row. Yet we have two wide POCs 2 days in a row. So sellers are pushing early, and then it seems like that's all they want, and we start just getting long liquidation. We keep coming back in the day's range. That's not long-term selling. Not in my book. So it's going to be very interesting going forward the rest of this week. Is this all these week longs are going to do? Or are these single prints and trend days going to hold and then maybe bring in a longer time frame to the sell side? We did not take out last week's low. They took it out. I'm pretty sure they took it out in the Qs. I have to look. But we defended last week's low. So now I'm calling the daily down, but the monthly and weekly are still very healthy. So until we take out last week's low, well, then the question is the next time frame going to get involved on the sell side? I had a good day, and just like yesterday, I didn't make a trade in the afternoon, really. F was my last trade, and it wasn't a big one. Turned out to be a very nice one, but I was waiting to get into the singles to take a bigger short play. Never happened. So I lost money on one trade today, and believe it or not, that was an A on a short. Because we got below the open initially, took a short saying, okay, we're going to take out. We took out yesterday's low. I'm like, okay, there's no doubt we're going to take out the 15 slow. Excuse me. And then go get that naked POC finally from the 14. So I took a short. And guess what? It went right back above the open and started ripping. Took it off. 416 puts. I actually took a long in B period when we made a new low and got nothing out of it and got back above the open. I took a long on the 413 calls and made money on it. Not a lot, but I made money. And then when B came down again and got below, I'm sorry, we were above the opening when I took that 413 call. We didn't get below the opening. I apologize. And it went back up. And I made money on that. Then when B came down, took out the opening, I was like, we battled the opening a couple of times. And then I finally said, I think we're going to finally take out A's low, start getting something more. Took a short, took the 416s, and then they started going. I made money on that. And then when C period started, I switched to the 415s. And basically, I just shorted C, D, and E. Shorted every time frame. Rode down C pretty good. I was looking for the naked POC, and then to start going to lower destinations. I said this is a key level here. What happens at A's low, J's high, where change took place on the 14th? Do they defend it? They did not defend it. Started ripping through it. Continued to short it, and had an excellent morning on the 416 and 415 puts. Scalped them a ton of times in D and E. F period. Stopped the one-time framing. I'm like, all right, now you're going to start getting some shorts to give it up. So I was looking to get into the single prints. Didn't happen. I took a 15 lot, and I held them all the way down. I held basically in F period. So that worked out. And that was the last trade. If we had gotten what M did, if we got in F or G what M did, I would have started adding on some pretty good size. I probably would have started around a 30 to 40 lot around half back. I would have probably been short probably anywhere between 150, I would have been long 150, 200 puts somewhere in those single prints to see if they held and the opening held. Never got that opportunity, and I was not going to do it in M period, although it would have been a nice trade. But it is M, and M is erratic. So what did M do? Got the half back, a little above, and look at it now and then. Came off $1. But that's okay. That's the trade I wanted in either F or G to see what we're doing right now. That would have been I talk about my home run trades. Well, if F had gone up and say even G went a little higher and I was long 200 puts and then it started doing this, that's my home run trade. Didn't happen in that time frame. I didn't take it. No trade is a trade also. Kept the room out of trouble from B, C. Once we took out A's low, I said do not go looking for longs in B, C, D, or E. Wait for two-sided trade. Once we went 3 wide and got some two-sided trade, I said, well, now you have things to lean on. You can take both sides of the market. But I hate this kind of chop. I didn't take anything in after G here, and I didn't take anything after F here. This is pure crap to me. All right, destinations for tomorrow. Upside. We have our single prints. So M period was 412.67, so 412.68, and they get filled at 413.66. So they're just under 100 ticks. They're 98 ticks. Then we have today's high, 414.65. Then the 10 wide from yesterday, 415.09. Single prints from yesterday, 416.08, get filled at 21, and you should have yesterday's high and the all-time high. For the downside, we have, now here's another interesting thing. POC was lowered 5 times today. From A's low, to F's high, to G's high, to I's high, to K's high. And then it got raised back to I's high at the end of the day. So the POC of 411.96, 9 wide, first downside destination. Then we have today's low, 410.59. And then we have last week's low, 410.20. So we held it by 39 cents. And I gave you a bunch of other downside destinations last night. So if you don't have them, please look at last night's video. You see what M does? How M distorts the market? All this was in M was whoever was short here throughout the day just started panicking and covering. And then look, the day ends and we go right back to right back down. So just because we do have a B shape, just because we're 9 wide today and 10 wide yesterday, does not mean the selling is done. To me, there's just still, there's a lack of real conviction to get longer term sellers in here. But by no means is there an all clear sign for the buyers just yet. And then on the charts, I'll look at triple Q real quick first. And I mean, we did take out, oh wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, we did take out last week's low, right? 334.73 last week, 330, yes, we did. So they stopped, triple Q stopped the one-time framing up in the weekly. So things are changing a little bit. Their monthlies, I mean, they've a lot different than us. Monthly is balance. 4 months. Weekly is now balance, and daily is down. So quite different from us. SPY, monthly still very healthy, one time framing up 6 months. Weekly, yeah, we tested last week's low, but we've held it so far. Doesn't mean we're going to hold it. We might take it out. That's why I'm saying, just because we're 9 wide and the buyers rallied, look at where we closed yesterday. We ripped up in M period yesterday also. And then look what happened today. So, weekly's still up though for now. And the daily is down. We went to balance yesterday. We're down today. Volume, 80 million. Yesterday's volume, 78.5 million. Now, we still have the after hours, so we're going to end up doing more than the average. But it's certainly nothing really heavy for a downside move. So, remains to be seen. If we start picking up the next time frame. Where will the volume maybe get heavier? Well, if we do take out last week's low. Remember, all we're doing is shaking out week longs from the previous 3 days so far. Thursday, Friday, Monday. That's what we're doing here. But if you take out last week's low and get into this week's range, now the next time frame gets a little more nervous. So we'll see how that transpires. I hope you had a good day trading. Have a great night, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.